We're rolling now. Matthew, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Tell me about your business, what you do, and how you got started.
Yeah, so it's called the Immortal Fine Art Gallery. So it's an online art gallery. I'd like to eventually get into a brick and mortar store and have an actual physical gallery. But staying online right now, you can do a lot with Instagram and YouTube and just getting a lot of eyes on the website itself. So I didn't think I needed to start out with a physical brick and mortar because I mean, we do well enough just online.
Yep.
So I think just the goal of it is just to scale it at this point to get to that brick and mortar spot. And so it kind of conceptualized from a few different stages actually. So my long-term girlfriend and I, we've been together for a couple of years, and we've always wanted to build something together.
Mm-hmm.
And she's an amazing artist herself. And personally, I've been to 34 countries and I've traveled all around the world. And I've always loved going to every single museum and gallery and just seeing works from different countries, different states, and different people and walks of life. And so we kind of conceptualized it together of like, why don't we just open an art gallery? It sounded like a pretty fun adventure to kind of go on together. And so we decided to name it the Immortal Fine Art Gallery. Reason being is we want to represent pieces that last forever. You go to the Louvre and you see these pieces that are literally 500 years old or 400 years old. And they are just incredible that they outlasted us and businesses and time and buildings. But people still go to this spot to admire these pieces. And it like preserves culture very well. Because you go see these pieces in these museums and across the countries and you see what they were doing at that time period, whatever that piece was painted at. So that's why I wanted to name it the Immortal Fine Art Gallery, is to kind of capture the immortality of art.
Yeah, for sure. What does this gallery consist of, I guess generally speaking or broadly speaking?
Yeah, so right now we have 15 artists that we represent, hopefully getting a few more in the next couple of weeks actually. We like to keep between 60 and 80 pieces on the site. If you go into a normal gallery, you see about an average of 50 to 100 pieces on the wall, somewhere in there. So I like to keep around 60 to 80 pieces on the site, so that way people aren't just continuously scrolling forever.
Yep.
So just keeping it online for now is doing really well. I think I've done a bad job of posting on Instagram. I need to post on Instagram more, post on YouTube more. But it also consists of a lot of abstract art. So we primarily deal with abstract art. I think it's really fun to kind of see how everyone has a different imagination and everyone sees it differently. Everyone sees the piece differently, which is really fun. And it always changes too. It changes in different light, changes in different times of day. That's why I really like the abstract art. Also, we have a few classical pieces on there, and I think that's kind of the goal, is to kind of have an entire section dedicated to like classical, Renaissance-y, like really old, hundreds of years old pieces. So we can start acquiring those really, really expensive blue chip pieces. And so that's kind of where we're trying to go with that as well. But also we conceptualized this idea and we wanted to make these communities. So we made a community called the Immortal Order. So the Immortal Order is a community you can join. And the idea behind it is you become an explorer when you join the order, and you are tasked with exploring the world and trying to find rare pieces of art and artifacts and hidden places. So it's a community that can revolve around the Immortal Fine Art Gallery and bring all your discoveries to the gallery. Because if you do find something, we can sell it for you or broker it. But also it's just a really fun community to go out and explore together and discover art and meet people around the world.
Sounds like such a cool idea.
Yeah, thank you.
So you say art or artifacts. Is everything, what essentially are these pieces? Are they paintings? Are they portraits? Is
Sure.
it broadly like?
So it's primarily all one original paintings.
Okay.
We have a couple portraits in there right now, only two. But I think we'd like to get a few more portraits. We'd like to expand in a lot of different directions as far as like different types of art. It's all going to be obviously one originals. We don't do any prints. But I would like to get more portraits and more classical still lifes and more just kind of every style, and kind of have like a wing for every section, and just kind of section it out, whether it be modern abstract or late classical or super Renaissance-y or emerging whatever, So that's kind of the direction I'd like to go to.
Yeah, the community idea is very cool. It just seems like a fun thing to be a part of, especially if you've got that itch to explore. different countries and different parts of the world.
Right. And my fiance, well, she's going to be my fiance one day, so my girlfriend and I, one of our favorite things to do, go travel the world as much as possible. I've been to 34 countries. She's been to 15. So we wanted to incorporate that aspect as well, because we also want to go travel the world and like discover pieces and do all these things and make something out of this community instead of just staying at the brick and mortar store 100% of the time. So, to actually engage with the art in different places, I think really adds to the culture of our own gallery as well. And that way we can meet more artists from around the world and bring them to Bozeman or bring them to Montana or just around the United States too.
Hi, folks. Quick note from me. If you don't already know, the goal of Mountain Mule Media is to build real connection between Montana's businesses and the people they serve. If this episode or any other has given you something worth thinking about, smiling at, or passing along, I've got a small ask. Share it with a friend, text it to someone, post it in your story. That one simple action helps these businesses get seen, grow, and thrive, and it helps this show keep going. Thank you for supporting these Montana businesses. Now back to the show. What do you think's the oldest piece you have? Or what is the oldest piece you have, at least?
I don't have too many old pieces. I'd say the oldest piece I have is from 2015, so only like 7 years old. I mean, to acquire those really, museum quality 100-year-old pieces, they have a pretty big price tag on them. I mean, usually they're minimum $50K to $100K. So before you get into those, I mean, when you do buy those, you incur a lot of risk too, right? So before I get into that, I have to definitely take my steps and walk before I run.
How do you find these pieces now, or go about finding them? Or
so it's a little bit of people reaching out to me. People will see the gallery online on Instagram, and they'll just reach out to me and want to be a part of the gallery. Or I will go out and discover people through Instagram or just through art walks or through traveling to different states and just recruit them myself and say, like, you know what, your stuff is absolutely beautiful. I really think it fits the vibe of what we're trying to go for with the Immortal Gallery, and offer them a spot. And I definitely don't offer spots just to anybody. Like, you want to be selected to make sure they're at that quality level and just at that mark where they're kind of like a full-time artist as well. But also I want to get to the point where my girlfriend and I are also traveling around the world to different countries doing that as well. So also recruiting artists from Paris and Venice and everywhere. Yeah.
I mean, it's a genius idea because you get to fill your need to travel and run your business and give something back to people all over the world.
Right.
Cool. What, so what are your plans, as you were saying, just to expand this, to try to grow this and then eventually open a brick and mortar here?
Yeah. So I don't know if it'll be in Bozeman. Absolutely. Toying with the idea because there's a massive Western art scene in Bozeman. And I don't know if we can compete with the Western art scene. Yeah. So it may be in Bozeman, but it may be better suited for a bigger city. Okay. But I would like to open a brick and mortar somewhere. Maybe do like a flagship opening store here in Bozeman, just a small one, and then also do another one somewhere else. So we'll toy with that idea. I mean, it's still conceptual for the brick and mortar. But I think the biggest thing we're trying to scale, get more pieces, get more artists, and get more people actually with eyes on the site, generate more revenue, more sales, but also build that community as well. We'd really love to build that community, have 10,000 members, right? Yeah. So that way we have 10,000 people out discovering art for us and discovering collectors and discovering artifacts and kind of have a common mission just to go explore and appreciate art too. Because I think a lot of people need to actually appreciate the arts a little bit more. Creativity, it's hard to come by these days because we're so busy with the grind. Inflation's so high and we have to work twice as hard just to afford our normal groceries or our normal homes, our normal cars. So we don't have the time to go read our books and do art or go for nice nature walks, whatever it is we need to do, because we're so busy putting in the extra hours to afford our just daily living. So I think it's really important for people to actually, spend time appreciating the arts and expanding their imaginations a little bit too. It's also a meditation. So I think a lot of people don't realize how meditative art is, especially from the everyday in our digital world. We're always scrolling on Instagram and it's so much chaos going on, but it's nice to go home to your piece or a museum, wherever, and look at a piece of art and just quiet your mind a little bit and just calm down. So in ancient Japan, actually, the samurai used to go to war and they used to come home just riddled with PTSD, and just their minds were just all over the place. But they used art as a way to meditate and come back to society with a full, meditated mind, where they can actually function in a normal society after the wars, which is actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We just, myself included, you get so caught up in making a living, and especially trying to make a living.
Yeah.
Here in Bozeman, or just in general, though, it's not just Bozeman. It's expensive everywhere.
Bozeman.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as standards go, Bozeman is like a definitely hard place to make it. I mean, I think our average home price, is one of the hardest ones to attain in the nation.
Yeah.
So I want to say top 5 hardest to attain in the nation, or something like that.
Yeah, which is crazy for
and
being in Montana.
Yeah, and our wages don't quite match what we need to pay for the homes as well. So it is really hard to do, and it's kind of unfortunate. So we do have to spend the extra hours to make sure we can afford the home and the groceries and the extra fun activities and the presents for the family. So we do lose a lot of time to creativity. We don't get to have it anymore.
Yeah, I guess just being in Montana, it's so beautiful here that at least I think of nature all the time to get that meditative. But I haven't thought about that as much just from looking at arts and stuff like that, but I can definitely do the same thing, and especially having a piece in your home or something that you...
And that's just it, exactly. So you kind of equate it, meditative, to being out in nature, which, we all need to do. And fortunately, being in Montana and Bozeman, we can go to the mountains or the river, and we do have it in our backyard. But sometimes it's even hard to go to that 30-minute drive up to Highlight, or that 45-minute drive up to somewhere else, and actually, be able to sit and meditate in nature and calm ourselves down. So having art in our home is one way to do it. You just kind of have your book, you have your candlelight, maybe have a fire and drink your tea, and just relax your mind for a minute.
Yeah, for sure. Are you a native from Montana?
Mm-hmm. I'm from Great Falls.
Okay. Where did this desire for art and travel and any of this come from? Has this been a long time thing, or?
Yeah, I think it's a combined thing. So there's a thing in Great Falls called the Russell Auction. It's one of the biggest Western art shows in the country. It's like top 5. So I grew up going to that in Great Falls, Montana, because that's where Charlie Russell is from.
Okay.
So it's called the Russell Auction. A lot of his pieces get sold there. And so I grew up going to that. So I developed an appreciation for art very young. And then also, I've always been kind of a wild spirit, and I just wanted to go travel. So I've been traveling ever since after college. I didn't get to do it much before college, but after college, as much as possible, as often as possible. And kind of combining these two passions and love together was kind of the goal. Because, I try to make a career out of just traveling, but it's kind of hard to do that. You're not really selling a product, and you're not really creating a business at all. It's kind of having people watch you along your journey, being a travel influencer or whatever.
And do you do some artwork yourself as well?
Here and there. I don't claim to be an artist by any means. I think my girlfriend is a lot better on the creative side, making the art. She's a wonderful artist. And myself, I have more of the appreciation for it and the business side of it. So, actually making the sales calls and actually thinking about the marketing and actually the logistics of creating all aspects of the business, essentially. And she is just the best at relationship management and working with the artists and working with clients and working with collectors and actually creating the art as well. So we have a really good dynamic and a really good team that we do it together, and it really bonds us and brings us together as well. So, but I think just that curiosity of traveling the world, and it's also kind of fun to it's kind of a goal to go find a new gallery every time we go to a new city and see what they paint in different countries. And it's very interesting what they come up with.
Yeah, that makes travel fun, just to have that objective and kind of mission.
Yeah, it is. And kind of when you go out with no plans, it's also really fun, kind of with an open itinerary, but also when you have a mission to go discover something, and you're kind of trying to find an artifact, or you're trying to find a hidden relic, or you're trying to find a piece of art, or you're trying to find a lost passage in a book, or you're trying to just, try to find something. It creates this element to your travel that gives you a mission that you feel so accomplished at the end of the day. And it's exciting, right? It feels like you're on a different kind of adventure instead of just wandering, looking at buildings. You're wandering with a task to go discover something, and you're on an adventure, which creates a different dynamic for your travel, which is also super fun.
Yeah, for sure. Two things I was thinking. One, I see this a lot with artists, and it's kind of tough because they're so creative and artistic, and then they have kind of no sense of how to make it into a business.
Right.
So it sounds like you guys really
that
complement each other well,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Mm.
And yeah, it's just, I don't know. Even I work with my fiance, and we balance each other a lot just with, because there's, type A and type B, but like an artist and a business mind,
Yeah.
that very much makes a very cool dynamic.
She works with you here at Mountain Mule.
She helps me with some stuff within my company, and she's got her own business too, but we're always just sort of working together.
It's a lot better together.
Yeah,
when you have
I'd
a
agree.
teammate in your corner that's always supporting you and always loving you. You can go a lot farther. I always thought I can carry the weight all by myself. We try to be big, strong men and provide and all these things, and we do our best and we do a good job. But I found having that person in your corner, having that support, having that love, and also having that person also help carry the water, you can go so much farther when you have the right person. So I'm a huge advocate of trying to find the right love and trying to find the right person and the right relationship, because I think it's so valuable to have.
Yeah, it's very well said. I couldn't agree more. I tell friends that are single or dating, I'm like, in my mind, and I realize it now more, it's just it's one of the most important decisions you'll ever make in business and life.
In business, and it's the most fulfilling thing too.
Yeah.
So when I was younger, before I started this, doing my first job after my travels, I came to Bozeman with less than $1,000, and I'm like, I just have to grind and make it. And I was always by myself, and everything wasn't as fulfilling. Whether it was a hike or whether it was whatever I was doing, it just wasn't as fun. But when you have your partner, it just adds this element of everything that lights you up in the best possible ways. And I don't want to do life without it.
Yeah.
Don't want to do the dating dating apps they're called.
Yeah.
Didn't do them anyway, but don't want to fall into that trap.
Yeah.
So.
No, I couldn't agree more. It sounds like you pretty much just described my exact same situation when I was here doing a lot by myself. So
Nice.
I totally, I couldn't relate more. When, to get back on track, because we'll just talk about our girlfriends and fiancés for the next 5 hours, if not. When someone joins that community, what does that look like for them?
Yeah, so it's kind of a multifaceted aspect. So you get put into a private group cohort. So it's all kind of grouped how I kind of organize it. So I kind of keep the older people together, the younger people together. And I ask people, so whenever they join, I say, what kind of cohort do you imagine yourself in? Do you want to be more of an art discovery cohort, artifact discovery cohort? Do you want to be around your same demographic, females, males, mixed? Are you single? What are you kind of looking for from a cohort? So that way you also have bonds and alliances that you can create within this cohort where you can actually make friends too. So you can actually vibe ideas off of each other and actually hang out and have real good conversations where people start as internet friends or group chat friends, and then you become friends in real life. And I've had a lot of friendships start from joining groups and just meeting each other online, and then you become friends in real life and hang out, and it's really beautiful. So I wanted to cultivate that for the travel community and discovery community as well. So you do that, and then you're tasked with discovering these things, the art, the artifacts, the hidden places. And when you do that, you report it back to your cohort, report it back to the community. And if you find something that you're like, you know what, I could probably sell this and make some money.
Yep.
We'd put it on our website and we sell it, and then you get a commission for it, obviously, because you discovered it. So it's kind of like an incentive as well. And it's also you get a little doctrine as well. So when you join, you get a little sealed doctrine and a medallion, just saying the Immortal Order, just kind of the club that you're in. And then on the doctrine, it says also you're the guardian of preserving culture and defending beautiful things and discovering the unknown and kind of things like that, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Sounds like you really put a system together. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very cool. What else? What can anyone do to help you out or find out more about you or, become a member?
I think a big help people could do is obviously follow the YouTube, follow the Instagram. That's the easiest barrier to entry is just following the Instagram. Every follow helps, every like helps the algorithm get the more exposure, SEO. Obviously buying pieces, because I think I want to sell the most amount of pieces as possible, just because it helps all the artists that I work with. And a big thing for being an art dealer or an art gallerist is you have every artist that you work with. We'll say I have 15. but like I have a range from starting single mothers to retiring mothers and moms and dads and whatever. So I try to think to myself, I'm like, you know what? This lady that I'm working with, this full-time artist, she's 29 years old, she's 32 years old, full-time artist, and she has her firstborn on her way. So I have to make sure to work hard enough to sell her pieces for her and enough pieces of hers so she can help support her family and her firstborn. Or maybe like I have another artist who's a single lady, I think she's 29, starting out her life and her career. And so I have to think to myself, I have to work hard enough, make enough sales calls, make enough marketing distribution, and think creatively how to sell enough of her pieces and market her as well to make sure she can have a life and the dream life that she wants to live as well.
Yep.
And that's for every single artist, guys, girls, whatever they're trying to do. They all have their personal stories that part of their stories is relying on me. So I have to make sure to put in every single day, 100% of what can I do today to make the gallery better, to get more exposure, to sell more of their paintings, to make sure that they are having a good living as well. So I think if people can also support buying the paintings, like that helps out every single artist that they buy from, not just the gallery, and like helps all of their lives as well, which is beautiful. So that's a big one. Or join the community as well. Join the Immortal Order, and it's just on the website as well. And I made it super cheap. It's only like $125 for a lifetime membership, because I've seen so many memberships that are $20 a month or $100 a month. And for me, it's like I would rather not try to scalp people out of all their money. I'd rather have a really beautiful community where people can make the alliances and the bonds and have the mission to go discover and appreciate art and just be in it together. Because like I said earlier, what we talked about earlier, I think life is better together, whether it's in a relationship or friendships or communities.
Yeah, for sure. It sounds like you're very attached to the bigger mission of the artist and the connection, which is very cool. Mm-hmm. So whether somebody likes any of your posts or subscribes, they're indirectly supporting because they're helping spread they're helping the algorithm spread the art around. And tell me the website where people can find all this stuff.
So it's called www.theimmortalcorp.com.
Okay.
So I didn't name it the Immortal Fine Art Gallery, because it's super long. So I shortened it down to the Immortal Corp, but also I had a long-term vision of the Immortal Fine Art Gallery turning into, the communities as well. And also like having the artifacts as well. So you have a fine art gallery section, you have the community section, and then you have the artifact section. It's kind of like an online museum, so to speak. So, and if we could ever make a museum one day out of it, I think that would be the ultimate 20-year goal. Yeah,
that sounds really cool.
Which would be amazing. Like we have a great museum here, the Museum of the Rockies, which is thriving and makes great money and has great community events. And I think it's a beautiful museum, especially for Montana. If we can make another one similar to it, like the Immortal Museum, where we find artifacts and whatever else we find from around the world, beautiful pieces of art, where we can bring that culture to a really growing city, because Bozeman's growing. Tourism is up like 8% every single year, which I'm sure in your industry. So I think it'd be really good for people to have another destination to see while they're also seeing Yellowstone and Glacier National Park and Big Sky. They could also see the Immortal Museum with all this beautiful fine art from around the world. Yeah, sounds like an awesome vision. Yeah. And how about social? Is that the same as the website, or that's a different handle? Same as the website, YouTube, Instagram, both the Immortal Corp. Okay. So that's cool. Just where it's at. I'll link everything in the video descriptions and the blog, and appreciate it. Hopefully this gets some more eyes on it and helps you guys out. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time. Thanks, Matthew. Thank you. Thanks for listening, folks. You can find the full blog post for every episode, along with key takeaways and links at mountain-mule.com. If you haven't yet, consider following the show. That one small action helps these Montana businesses get seen, grow, and thrive, and it helps this podcast keep going too. If you know a business that would be a good fit for the show, we'd love to hear from you. Just reach out through the website or social. Thank you for supporting these Montana businesses. See you on the next show.